Bowsette was a thing.
What do you mean was? It's still going!
I kind of meant it as it's an ongoing thing.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
It's people being horny on Maine.
And other people saying, well, this looks fun. Let me jump on the bandwagon just so I can keep the joke going.
Ugh.
It's Nintendo unleashing hell, and they didn't even know it.
I mean, we
Oh
haven't
god,
seen this.
the funny thing is someone already debunked this thing, saying the crown will only work for Toadstool. If anyone else gets the crown, they get 10 coins.
Huh. Well, that's.
But that's not going to stop the internet.
Yeah, that's not going to
It's
stop
not.
the internet.
Rule 34, people.
Yes, Rule 63, technically.
Yeah.
Whatever one it is.
I think it's both at this point.
Yes.
It's a weird rule. That's all we need to know.
Anyway, hello everyone. We are the Stardust Hunters.
There is just so much we could talk to about Bowsette, from the fan art to the animation to the cosplay to the fact that there was even a concept art ever done for Odyssey.
Though, sorry?
No, I was going to say, I saw some cosplayers of it just recently.
Who did you see, if you don't mind me asking, Akari?
I don't remember. It was just on my feed for a brief moment. And I'm like, oh, dear God in heaven.
Okay.
Scroll.
I remember
Basically, yeah.
seeing a Patreon that was basically paying a cosplayer not to do this.
Yeah, Momo-kun. That is a fall from grace beyond belief. For those who don't know, Momo-kun is a cosplayer she's on the heavier side, but she's done some good cosplay in the past.
The problem was that she kind of pissed off her fans by saying that she hated them.
Yeah.
And the fans said, okay, fuck you, and left.
Which resulted in that petition that Legend just mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Internet.
Okay.
Everyone's crazy.
Boy.
Oh, what else is new?
Alright. Actually, what else is new, Legend?
Not much. Personal stuff.
Just you've been occupied the entire week?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Pass.
Alright, I'll pick it up then. I've sort of been busy, just, keeping myself busy. Almost finished with both Dark Cloud 2 and Shin Megami Tensei. In
Alrighty.
terms of my video gaming stuff, I'm thinking about going back and trying the virtual console versions of Red and Gold. Just to
Okay.
mix things up. I have been watching, and I've officially caught up on my Overlord.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Overlord Season 3. Well, we have hit over 7,000 dead in one spell.
7,000 or 70,000?
70,000, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're off by a 0.
Yes.
Holy shit!
That's important.
That's a lot of dead body.
That makes a bit of a difference there.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
a difference between a massacre and a genocide.
But you're kind of leaving out one really, really important thing, dude.
Which is?
The 70,000 was an hors d'oeuvre.
An hors d'oeuvre?
Yeah,
It was a sacrifice.
to summon out the Shub-Niggurath monsters.
So that they could kill more.
And that's not paraphrasing. The spell is actually called Shub-Niggurath in the anime.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Which,
Oh, yeah.
I Cthulhu Fatan.
again, you should watch it if you really want to see MMO RPGness to a crazy outlandish extreme. Other than that, I got back into Duel Links because we have officially hit the 5Ds era.
Well, that's part of our news, so let's
But
save that.
I still did it.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
so I got some awesome pulls from that, which is gonna make my wallet very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay, you're saying this ironically?
I'm
or-
saying this legitimately because
Okay.
you get 3. Let me put it this way: in a booster box, which is the number of cards you can pull from a set,
Alright.
there are maybe 300 cards in a main box. You get 3 cards per pack.
Ugh.
Now you can get a lot of them from gems because there's a generous feed up system. But if you want the cards now, you're gonna have to pay.
Okay.
So that was my week. Muzi, how was your week?
It was okay. Getting a bunch done at home. And then I spent the afternoon helping with the local Comic-Con over at the library.
How was that?
No.
How was that?
I see
Oh
people
my
from that.
god.
Was
The
it
kids just wore me out.
as kids do. As kids do.
Even just watching that many kids run like that, it's like,
Does it make you wish for days when you had Capri Sun?
Essentially, me and 2 other people were in charge of just kind of wrangling children and pointing them in the right direction in this like little like game movie themed little obstacle course thing. And it started off with Pokemon. The next aisle was Harry Potter. After that, it was, oh, good lord, Pac-Man. And then it was like an undersea thing, and then Mario Kart, and then they went through this little black-lit Ninja Turtle themed room.
Cool.
That
Wow.
sounds cool, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I can only imagine the noise.
Well, no, it wasn't the kids that were annoying. Let's just say they took a phone, put it in a plastic bag, and taped it behind a picture of Pac-Man with a 10-hour loop of Pac-Man noises playing on it.
Reminds me of one time I went to Barnes and Noble, and I was hoping to like get away from my folks for a little bit. Just like I wanted peace and quiet. What I did not realize was that day they were running a Despicable Me themed summer camp at the Barnes and Noble.
Oh no.
That
Footage.
sounds terrible.
It sounded worse than you imagine. Imagine a bunch of like 6 to
10-year-old.
10-year-olds screaming in pseudo French at the tops of their voices,
Oh.
all hyped up on caffeine. It was rough. I ran as fast as I could without making a scene. My God. I don't mind kids normally. I do
It's just
mind
that many of them.
That many
that
of them?
many of them hyped up on sugar and caffeine
And
is
that's
bad.
and then add
Well-
minions.
And then add minions.
And then eventually I finally got to walk around because it slowed down over in our spot and we didn't need 3 people over there anymore. At the point that I started walking around, they started the costume contest.
Oh, joy.
Yes.
I didn't know it, but one of my friends was back in town, and so he wore his Deadpool costume.
Oh,
Nice.
I'll have to show you the picture later, because I have pictures of most of these costumes, and they're really good. Like, this one girl didn't even enter the contest, she just likes to cosplay. She does, like, a really good Sakura.
Nice.
Wow. Alrighty.
Somebody was dressed as Frozone, okay?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's nice.
Honey, where's
More
my
of those.
super suit?
We need
He said that when he came up on the stage
one. Of course.
Yes!
for
of
the
course,
contest.
Of course. What about games?
Well, I finished off Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and obviously that's not the end of Lara.
Right.
Of course.
It's the end of the trilogy, but not the end of Lara.
That's good. That's good at least.
So, from what I've seen of the ending, and it's not spoilery, of course, they end up, showing you things that, hey, this could be the next game,
That's good. And I've also noticed
Which is
on my
great, because I
PS4
love that series.
that you have been playing something else quite prodigiously.
Yes, I have been playing Spider-Man.
And is it good like Spider-Man 2?
It is awesome.
I've heard it's actually better.
I've heard it's like a Spider-Man version of the Arkham games.
The Arkham games
I
are a Batman
really, really
version of
enjoyed the
Spider-Man
first
games.
Amazing Spider-Man game.
Um,
And it feels almost like I'm playing that, but better.
Nice.
nice.
And so I can see why this just exploded.
Good. Awesome.
Alrighty.
Yep, it's definitely one of the highlights up there.
What are your thoughts, Akari? Have you played Spider-Man at all?
I don't have it yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Nope. Nope.
Okay. Well, Can we move? Is that pretty much it for your week music?
Well, I got a special pass that I get to use on Monday.
Tell him, Uzi.
What kind of pass?
We got new EX raid passes.
Ooh.
Oh, for Pokemon Go.
Ah.
Yes.
Yep.
Which means we get to go after Deoxys.
Wow.
And it has 4 forms we can go up against.
No, right now only the normals. And
Okay.
I feel like I think it would have been better if they like randomized it. Actually,
No, if they had randomized it, there would have been too many
would've pulled
people
their hair out
never
if it
getting
was
another
randomized.
form, and they don't need that hassle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so it's just going to be normal.
Essentially, for a little while, it'll be the normal, and then they already
Attack.
said eventually they're going to cycle through them. They didn't say in what order.
Yeah, there's the normal, attack, defense, and what was the last one again?
Speed.
Yeah, those are the 4 forms. So it's probably going to go in that order because that's how it is in the Pokedex.
What really sucked though was that some people got passes, and there was a glitch that was going on that if there was a raid at that gym at the exact moment that the passes went out, it screwed up the pass and made it seem like the raid was right then, and then it canceled it on them.
Yep.
Ooh,
And
that's...
Niantic was trying to reschedule and resend out those passes, and the glitch wouldn't let them.
Ooh, that sucks.
So the people who got them and then they got canceled are going to have to put in the effort to get another one.
Yep, or hope they get a trade.
Yeah, you can invite people now.
Yeah, okay.
That's good.
I made a little girl's day because her and her mom don't get a chance often to go into town and hit the gyms that are eligible. And so I sent the one invite that I get for that pass to her, and then Yami sent hers to her mom so both of them can come to the raid.
Oh,
I
that's
still haven't
nice.
invited anybody. I don't know who to invite.
I kind of have an idea, but I'll deal with that later.
Okay.
Alrighty then. That was very nice of you, Muzi. And
I couldn't help it. She's a cool little kid.
That's good.
alrighty.
Kari, what about you? What are you up to?
Besides being mentally stretched thin because of all the almost 3 weeks of early shifts in a row,
Ooh.
I am doing the best I can to stay awake. I'm doing the best to survive. So other than that, I've been having a bad week. It's just I wish I could have gone like to the Comic Con that Muzi said, but by the time I was off, it was almost over.
Yeah, it ended about 3.
Yeah,
It
no,
got
I
off
was
at
up.
2:30.
How about games?
I was getting to that. Game wise, I have been messing around on the NES thing on the Switch for the online. I've been messing with that,
Tomb Raider!
and I just right now. There's not much games to play, but yeah, I was gonna get to that next. I just beat Shadow of the Tomb Raider last night, and I gotta say is this, I love this trilogy as a whole. I mean, there's some aspects of some of the games I like better, but I like how, like what Muzi said, I like how this wraps up everything with this story arc, but we're moving on to the next. And was it recently I have played the episode 2 of the Walking Dead final season, which I have said multiple times is bittersweet, but they did really good with the episode. I'm not giving any spoilers for anyone who's listening who hasn't seen it or played it yet, but I'll say this, it's really good. And I just wish things could have gone better.
Yeah, we'll be getting to that in a little bit. So,
Let's see. Otherwise, I've been playing a lot of Switch. I've been getting back into Splatoon 2, and immediately remembered why I stopped playing it for a while.
yeah, that game's a fucking salt fest.
But you know what? I've been able to control Assault, so I've been doing that. And
I need to play some more.
I love the style
yeah.
and aesthetic of the game. It just makes me too damn salty.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
now
whatever.
that I have my online set up, I can just go ahead and play.
Was the last Splatfest like retro versus modern?
Yeah,
Yeah, Modern 1.
Marina won.
Huh. That's
It's
good.
because
Wow.
I believe it's because actually she won all 3: popularity, regular battles, and
Ranked.
and ranked battles.
Okay.
And here's the weird thing. I wouldn't have chose Modern for that if I actually knew about it.
I mean, I think pretty much everyone was on the I thought everyone would have been on the retro train.
I think right now what's really taking people off is the fact that I've seen the comments. More people were fighting their own team than fighting the opposing team.
It could have
They're
been
doing
that
that.
there was just
They need to fix that.
Yeah, they really do.
I mean, it could also just be, that people who play at a certain time are so in one camp as opposed to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, could also be the fact that there is such a massive amount of people playing.
Although I think that did get culled a little bit with the advent of the Switch, the online system now.
No, the best part about the online system is kids' accounts that are set up on the Switch. They can't buy it. It has to be an adult's account that buys it. So if only a kid is using that system,
then they're SOL unless someone
yes,
the dad makes.
They can use it if an adult buys it.
Yeah.
But they can't do it themselves, which is cutting down from what I've heard online on a lot of the little like dinky kids playing Splatoon 2 that were being real butts about it.
Yeah.
Either being real butts or not doing anything.
Right.
Yeah, they would either just stand there or they would go after like one specific person the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, really?
Well, that might actually improve my enjoyment with the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I might actually try out the next Splatfest when it happens.
Indeed. Well, is it a week? 2 weeks?
It's like every 2 weeks or so, I think.
Okay. Well, maybe in 2 weeks we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
All right.
So
shall we start with the dire news first?
How about my week?
Yeah,
right.
did you not forget?
Yeah, sorry, don't miss the wolf, okay? Don't
Yes.
skip the wolf.
Yeah, you forgot the werewolf.
Okay. Let's go, White Wolf.
Fuck you.
Better than a howl or a who wolf.
Oh dear God Almighty!
Or a what wolf?
We have successfully conjugated wolfing.
All right, my week. I've been stuck house sitting for the most part for my mom because she's working out of town.
All right.
Horrible internet.
Yeah, horrible internet there, but I try to stay here at my dad's house most of the time because fuck me, that internet is. It's 1 megabit per second out there.
The mosquitoes fly faster.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel dirty.
Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate.
Yes, you have. I wish I could join you, but I am poor.
I gave you $50 for your birthday. Buy either the game or the Switch. I don't care which.
$50 is it's a good start, but I'm gonna need to get a little bit more before I get one, dude.
All right.
But I say it's much appreciated.
Yeah. Other than that, I've been drawing as usual. Had to get these two chuckleheads together to work on the first episode of Dark Souls again, because I guess you guys are wondering why the Dark Souls hadn't been uploaded this week.
Unfortunately, I think we do mention this in the episode, but just for the record, we had some audio difficulties, and the big thing about Dark Souls is that it saves everything.
So we would have had to have done a completely new playthrough just to get just to redo the parts we would have lost.
Ergo, we ain't doing that shit, so I supercutted the first 3 episodes that had crap audio into one super long episode, and we did post-commentary.
Works for
Oh,
me.
God.
Yeah,
That's fine to me.
I tried my best to do with what we could, but it's
Hey,
still...
you figure if you've already put in major effort of recording the episodes, you may as well use the footage.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still salty as fuck, but hopefully now that that's taken care of, we can do that.
Yeah, but the games end up making you slightly salty anyway, so it's a theme.
Yeah, and thankfully, next week, I'm going to get these two chuckleheads together, and we're going to riff on Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, some cutscenes.
Ooh, look forward to that.
I wish there was a way I could join that, because I love riffing on those. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, what was that, Muzi?
She wanted to join for that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That might require some syncing up to do, but
Well, technically, I have the raw audio as a YouTube video. It's private, so I just need to send her a link.
right, but it would still require just some syncing to make sure that we're on the same page at the same time.
Bingo. So it technically is possible. We'll see.
We'll see what we can do.
Because those are free. Even when I'm sitting there watching them on my own, in my head, I'm just like riffing the entire thing.
Oh,
It's like, I love the cutscenes for it. I didn't like the gameplay, so much. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
But the story was really good. But even then, it's so riffable.
Oh, yes.
I'm,
Oh God, yes.
I'm just waiting for Vexen to say, "I'm a scientist." Yes.
I'm
Or-
waiting for him to pull out like the swirly glasses and just put those on.
I barely remember
Absolutely.
anything about
He
that
doesn't
game,
have them,
so-
sadly.
Oh.
Or God help us if and or when he finally gets to that point where he just goes laughing mad. That is the best thing I've ever heard in a video game. It's like a rodent got caught in a washing machine. It's just going. "Tick, tick, 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 tick."
Actually, the voice actor for Vexen is Ken from Digimon Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh joy!
Yeah. And so you're literally hearing him say, "Yes." I'm sorry,
And my
I just
brain
love that
starts
line.
thinking, "Oh God, the Digimon Emperor."
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure Leo's going to want Larxene to step on him.
No, I
I
mean, Larcene is the.
It's the-
Yellow, electric.
Oh no, I
bitch.
think that I'm not gonna say my thoughts on her, but I honestly, I cannot get myself worked up over any of the Organization 13 members. Like,
Good.
Just doesn't even register. Doesn't even register, guys.
You know what's funny? I saw a tweet from Sonic Fox saying the nobodies from Kingdom Hearts made him gay.
Well, they are beachy as hell. They are beachy as hell, so I can see where Sonic Fox is coming from. But just like, didn't register for me. No register at nothing on the radar.
Fun fact,
Nothing.
Marluxia, the pink-haired one, was originally supposed to be a girl.
Yeah, I believe that because they've done
Yeah,
that.
I'd read that and I was like,
it's Japan.
why would it matter?
Well,
Yeah.
it's a gender thing. It's like the same reason everyone thought Haku from Naruto was a girl.
Oh yeah, I know.
Though I have to admit that the payoff for that one scene where Naruto finds out, yeah, that's a dude. It's just
Like,
the
what?
best.
That was so
It's Japanese gender humor. It's very aged. It's very Japanese.
Yeah.
It was
so funny,
hilarious because they drew the faces just right.
Of course
Yes,
they
they
did.
did.
Of course they
It's like,
But yeah,
oh,
we're going to go Mystery Science Theater on this bullshit.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll see how this goes.
Yes.
Although I would like to get you into this news because we could probably do a Discord recording for this.
Yeah,
Right.
let's see when we can sync up.
Yeah.
Right.
So, anyway, moving on. That's it mostly for my week. I don't think anything important has happened. It's been a pretty dull week.
Good. Let's get to the news.
Ba, 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 ba.
Good lord. Okay,
Newscaster.
first,
But, yeah. So this one, I think everyone pretty much saw. Everyone has heard this particular story. So I will leave it to the people who actually know this story very well. Muzi and Akari, take it away.
Essentially, Telltale is shutting its doors.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
They were attempting to get funding to finish the projects that they were working on, and the company pulled back, and so they had to start shutdown.
Yep,
And so they were laying off groups of people. Essentially, right now, last I heard, there's a skeleton crew there finishing up their contract with Netflix, which makes sense.
yeah.
You know, that's a big thing. You've got to finish that.
pretty much. And there only
Otherwise-
like, was it like 25 people left?
I think it's
Yeah,
just-
it's like a skeleton crew of like, I think last I heard it was 25 people.
it might
They
be
may
even
have
less.
added a couple people to that team to get it done faster. The thing that has ticked off some people is that they're not going to be able to finish the final season of Walking Dead.
Yeah. And
What
Yeah.
irritates me about that entire thing is not that it won't be finished, but that so many people online are getting mad at the workers who lost their jobs.
yeah.
Well,
It's not their fault.
well, the deal is that none of those guys are getting comp pay. None of them are getting
Yeah.
severance.
They're not getting comp, they're not getting severance.
And their medical runs out at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yep, and some people even had to uproot their entire lives and move there
Well,
only to get fired.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sucks.
Pretty
But
much.
the best part about this story, though, there is a lot of positive to this, is the fact that all of the big gaming companies, they went to Twitter, and there's a special hashtag called Telltale Jobs.
Oh, really?
Basically, if you're basically
Ubisoft,
saying,
Naughty Dog, even EA's getting into this. Microsoft, Sony, they're all going, we got jobs here.
You guys
We
are
want
looking
you
for
guys.
jobs? Come at us.
Because as much as people knock Telltale, their staff know what they're doing when they make games. They brought back the story focus in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people don't give them credit for that.
I won't argue that. The Telltale games weren't my thing, but I won't argue that they had some good stories.
And they knew how to tell them in a way that kept you in the story, but also made you feel like you were doing something.
Yeah. My issue is with the entitled gamers who are mad that they aren't getting their precious games and are getting mad at the people.
The only thing that bugs me is, I'm kind of bummed that I won't see the end of the story, Which, considering, it's the 4th season of the game, you're kind of invested in the character, you're kind of bummed that you're not going to see the end. That's pretty much me. And I'm not mad at them. It's like, they couldn't get the funding they needed.
Well, that's because you have
continue
empathy.
On.
You have empathy and you have sympathy for the people who are losing their jobs.
It's one of those, you're just, you're bummed you won't see the end, but it's not their fault.
Right.
The funding just didn't come through, and so they had to start shutdown procedures.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff here that it's difficult to say, well, that guy's in the wrong or that guy's in the wrong for me personally.
Yeah,
just because
there's a lot of legalese involved in everything, of course.
And of course, as a result of the stuff from Telltale, the main issue of this was there's a lawsuit.
Well, the problem is that when you are shutting down a business, you have to be able to say everyone we're shutting it down. End of fees is going to start here. There's a lot of procedure that you have to go about it. And when Telltale decided we're shutting down,
they kind of did so off.
They basically decided it. The board of directors decided it behind closed doors, and everyone who was working on the project found out when the news story broke.
Yeah,
which, given where they're based in California, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's actually illegal in California.
Which is why they're getting sued for that.
And so it's a class action lawsuit, which means all the workers can get in on it to possibly get some.
To go ahead and they are all going to sue the company jointly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
so that will go ahead and have its due process and stay in court.
And
they've actually heard the people online though. They've gotten enough feedback from everybody online. They are actively trying to find somebody to finish the game.
Well,
before they pay severance.
Right.
Yeah, well, so I don't blame them for doing that after so many people. Right. There are tons of petitions online for people going, let's save the game.
What are your thoughts on this, Kari?
None at the moment because everything that's been said has been said.
Okay.
All right. Moving on, let's go to the success of the Spider-Man game, and how Marvel wants now more games from their franchises.
Can you really blame it at this point? Because, hello,
it exploded.
Not to mention being the fastest selling Sony title.
3.3 million copies in the first 3 days.
Well, that's quite a bit.
Like she said, that's averaging 1 million a day. Yeah. I'm like, holy shit.
It exploded. Yeah. People were exploding over this game before it even came out, just from the tactical release of the trailers that they gave us.
Plus the hype up of E3 from last year.
Right,
yes.
There's that too.
And then add more this year with the full-on gameplay trailer they gave us.
I think what does it for me is that there's always a ebb and flow in terms of between DC and Marvel in terms of quality in both their stuff. And prior to this, we had the Arkham Asylum games.
Yeah.
We had the Batman Telltale games, and then we had the return of superhero fighters with Injustice and Justice 2.
Yeah.
And so there was kind of a lull in between on Marvel's side where I think the last thing that came out slightly related was X-Men, which was not that good. X-Men Dark Legends.
And don't even get us started on the franchise-based video games like
essentially, they've dubbed this the Iron Man of Marvel video games because they want to use it as a starting point for more better Marvel console games.
Right. I mean, there's always been the flow with this. I mean, there's the Incredible Hulk game from the PS2 era that we had. There was the Sonic game. There was, the Spider-Man game for the PS1 era. Yeah. There's always an ebb and flow in terms of who has the superior product between Marvel and DC.
I'm actually wondering if this is going to be the start of the Marvel video game universe.
That'd be so cool.
It could be, because that could lead to different franchises getting pushed.
Because the entire Spider-Man game is not linked to any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
It is its own story.
Its own thing.
Right. And also, since Marvel was absorbed into Disney, since Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, this is essentially Disney's second time up to bat for video games, which, when Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite came out, there was a lot of red tape involved, which kind of was part of the reason that game never took off.
Kari, did you say something?
No.
Okay.
So,
Okay, just checking.
Hopefully, I'm hoping that Disney is willing to be a little bit more hands-off in terms of what needs to be done for the video games, and so that way we see much more creative success flowing, if that was the case in Spider-Man. If it wasn't, keep doing what you're doing.
But the big question is which of the Marvel heroes would you want to see next, though?
Good question. I could do for some Iron Man, so long as we don't have flying through hoops.
You don't want a Superman 64.
I don't want an Iron
no,
Man 64, no.
I would like to see Black Panther.
Black Panther
That
would definitely
would be
a good
awesome.
one.
I could see Black Panther, kind of branch to kind
And
of
with
an open world.
Shuri's technology, those could be your upgrades through the game.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I can see it kind of being an open world, but a little bit bigger, way bigger than Spider-Man, so that you can go to certain destinations.
Yeah, because you're
missions.
dealing with more than just New York City with Black
And
Panther.
Wakanda
So,
and all that stuff. Yeah.
I could see a theoretical Black Panther game being a cross between Far Cry and Streets of Rage. It's a beat 'em up fighter, but there's exploration, there's hunting missions. I could see something like that being in play.
That would definitely fall under the purview of Black Panther.
Yeah. I personally would like to see an Iron Fist. I personally would like to see an Iron Fist video game, a la Bayonetta.
Really?
Yes.
True. They haven't done one for Iron Fist.
And Iron Fist actually does have a little bit more of a profile because he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He has his own WB series.
Well, and he's never had
And
his own
he's
game
never had his
before.
own video game. He's been a part of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance stuff, but
because he's on Netflix. But
because there's a lot of similarities in the Iron Fist mythos to that of Bayonetta, particularly in the part where a Bayonetta 2 style plot where instead of going up the Thimble Venter, he goes up Mount Cthulhu, which is his own mystic mountain space that's important to his universe, and you could essentially replace demons with dragon spirits. And
the style fits. Yeah,
and you could have so much fun with that in a character action setting, which is really something what a kung fu master like Iron Fist would thrive in.
I'm not a Marvel fan, but I'm actually legitimately curious what a Doctor Strange game would be like.
That could be crazy.
That would be awesome.
Strange in Marvel 3, Strange's own movies. I could see anything from an action adventure thriller to even doing something akin to BioShock.
And
There are a lot of things that they could do with that
There's
concept.
a lot of room they could go with that, but that is a very good point.
I would love to see how they mess around with the time stop stuff.
Yes.
Well, that's basically like Bayonetta's Witch Time.
It's
They
kind of
could.
ridiculous how Strange does it, though. He basically alters the fourth dimension to either age something all the way or rejuvenate it.
Unfortunately, do you know what that sounds like, Legend?
Yes?
That sounds like the first iteration of Wolfenstein for the PS3.
So something like that, but with
But
Doctor
better.
Strange theme.
Yeah, except if you remembered how that went, that was
Kind of iffy.
very iffy.
I'm sure
talking
there's some
about-
way they could twist it as to where it could only work this certain way.
Maybe.
Or are we talking about the one that was just called Wolfenstein?
Yes, that one. The one that Yahtzee infamously did in limerick form.
Ah,
That
yeah.
had
one.
nothing to do with.
That had nothing to do with Wolfenstein. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember finding a YouTube video where someone remade that review, but it was animated.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna have to show you guys that one later.
Yes. Okay. Let's go from Marvel to Devil May Cry.
I was about to say we have to give him a moment to squeak.
Okay.
Ah, yes.
So
Finally,
You need a cigarette, Akari?
as you know, the last trailer we've seen was it was more gameplay for Nero and his arm. Now we're focusing on Dante,
Mhm.
and I would say it's basically feels like familiar territory. Obviously, he's got his four fighting. He's got his four forms. He's got the Trickster. He's got Royal Guard. He's got Swordmaster and Gunslinger. He's got all those. He's got his familiar, pistols and Sword Rebellion and Ivory. But this time, as we've seen from previous trailers, he's packing new heat. Basically, the motorcycle that gets split
That splits into blades. Yeah.
It
Holy
splits into two
shit!
fucking
From what I saw, it
chainsaws.
looks like buzzsaws, essentially.
They are. They're chainsaws.
Yeah.
Akari, did you ever play Devil May Cry 2?
I play all of them.
So then, you remember how there was a lot of emphasis on the motorcycle in 2?
In a way, but that was lame.
Well,
I'm sorry, I won't say what you will. I mean, some of the stuff, but Devil May Cry 2 is pretty much the of the series. But with this one, I feel like they're probably using that same idea, but they're building up on it and making it even actually good
Well,
for once.
the thing is that they actually intended on introducing that chainsaw motorcycle weapon as early as Devil May Cry 2.
Just didn't work out.
They just
No,
never
it
could
did
implement
not.
it, so they scrapped the idea, but they kept the cinematic shots still the way they were. So
It's
Pretty
not
much.
one of those ones that I'm gonna play. I'll probably watch somebody play it
I saw a
because
Let's
I've
Play
watched
of
people
2.
play it. The other games.
right.
So,
God,
So
2 was boring.
and then I made both him and Ryomo kind of drool a little bit when I showed the deluxe edition picture.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I already got that
the
pre-ordered.
deluxe
Speaking of the
edition's quite
deluxe
crazy.
edition, there's a little something that comes with a little hint to a certain blue bomber.
yeah.
If you pre-order if you order the deluxe edition,
You
you
get
will
the
get
Mega
a Mega
Buster.
Buster for Nero.
Yes.
Yeah. If I recall right, there's also some other different devil arms. Like one of them's even the fucking fruit salad.
One of them
Yeah.
is
In a way.
One of them is
pasta fork.
called Pasta Breaker.
It's the pasta breaker, which is essentially a pasta fork, and then there's another one which is like essentially a auto jerk machine.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
And also, to wrap this story up, they actually have revealed the name of the third character, which has been spotted in the poster. We're not sure. He's basically shirtless guy with a torn jacket named V, and I have a feeling he's probably going to be a human, like magic user or something like that. But because
He
he's
walks
carrying a
around
book.
with a cane, looking like Chris Angel.
Chris Angel or Bond if he had his hair dyed black from Seven Deadly Sins.
But if you get the
Good
deluxe
lord.
edition, you're getting those 4 different arms for Nero, an upgraded motorcycle weapon for Dante. You get alternate style rank title screen announcers, 12 battle themes, and behind the scenes live action stuff.
Yeah.
So
One thing I did hear is I think they're reworking Dante's theme.
Oh yes, they are.
Yeah, they did, because what I heard was
I'm not
Originally,
a
it was
fan
done-
of some of the music in the trailers. I'll just
it was done by the band Suicide Silence. which
That's the
I am
band.
Not really into, but it got pulled because of some controversy with the lead singer.
Aww.
Not quite. That's one way to phrase it. Why don't you go ahead and?
What
we'll
just
just
say-
leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll just say he's living with a fan, and that's pretty much. I'm going to leave it there because
He's got issues. Let's move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
pretty much enough of my fan.
But
Nobody
we
wants
get
to hear my
Trish
fanboy.
and Lady in the trailer as well, which means they are back as well.
But they've also confirmed that that there is a 2 to 3 player multiplayer option, which is presumably to be with only Dante, Trish, and Lady as being the multiplayer.
Okay.
That
And
could work.
everyone's favorite microtransactions.
Oh yeah, they are adding
But
it wasn't 4, wasn't it?
yes, but it's best compared to the microtransactions they had for Tales of Symphonia,
Okay.
which is experience.
Okay.
So completely.
In other words, it's not something that would break the game.
Yeah.
And even then, I've heard reports that the experience game is actually much better than older Devil May Cry games, to the point that you are not going to have to grind as much.
I'm sidebar thing. I'm legit wondering if Devil May Cry 5 is going to be like they're just throwing 2 out the window, pretty much.
Oh, in terms of like
Chronology.
It seems like they're saying that didn't happen. Just
Yeah,
ignore
it kind of feels like it.
What do you think, Akari?
What Devil May Cry 2? I mean, we just skipped to 3, right?
Yes.
Well, no, 3 was first.
Yeah, 3 was technically first, then 1 or wait.
3, 1, 4.
3, 1, 4. Okay. All right.
And then 5 afterwards.
Anyway, more stuff to make Akari squee. Apparently, Oh wait, no wait. First off, we gotta talk about Death Stranding.
Okay, I love.
In other words, the epitome of what the hell.
Everyone is like still struggling to figure out what genre is this.
No,
Well-
everybody's still trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Not even the genre at this point. Everybody's like, what the hell?
Well,
It's like, what are they doing?
well,
And the more footage they give us, the more confused we are. And they're loving it. If you look online, they are loving how confused we are.
well, if you ever
And
have
now
any-
Troy Baker gets to be in on the in on the secrets.
And
I was just gonna say, if you ever need a video game to be more of a hit, just add Troy Baker.
Yeah, Troy's
Nolan
been
North.
in quite a few things.
yeah, and
Everything.
everything.
Yeah,
But
You could
just,
stick him or Nolan North in a game.
oh yes,
Well,
And
we
people
got
will buy
both.
no. The bet I remember it was for Saints Row 4. I think they had Troy Baker do his Nolan North impression as one of the voices.
Yes,
Oh, God.
they did. The two of them together is a nut fest. And they're friends, so this is great.
And Troy Baker summons a legally distinct Dark Beast Parl from the goo.
I mean, it looks like Dark Beast Paul, but we both know.
And we're still trying to figure out what the hell he did and what the hell that thing is.
Exactly.
And what the hell they're
Yeah.
wearing. We know they're suits, but what kind of suits? And why do they function like that?
All we know, it's gonna be a weird as hell sci-fi game. That's
All we know is that it's Kojima, it has Troy Baker's voice, and we
Guillermo
get,
del Toro.
as everybody says, Daryl in the game.
Yes.
we have no fucking clue about everything else.
Beyond that, we know nothing.
It's a sci-fi horror psychological mind fuck.
Maybe
With-
stealth, maybe walking simulator. I don't fucking know.
With dystopic elements.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that before we make our brains explode.
Too late.
They're oozing out our ears. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I see the blood running down Legend's ear.
All right.
Now
Cue
for the
squee.
thing that'll make Akari squee. Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. More of a yet Capcom is coming out saying it's just not a remake. It's a brand new game from the ground up.
It's a
They want
full-on
us to
reboot.
consider this a reboot, which I can get behind.
I can get behind this too because don't get me wrong, Resident Evil 2 is my favorite of the original games. I mean, even more than 4. But with the game footage we're seeing, I feel like this is going to be the most realistic
Well,
of the series by
it's
far.
got the
I mean,
Resident Evil 7 engine. And so
Yes.
what they've done is they've gone back and they've even changed where some characters first meet, where things are. They haven't changed the story so much that, returning fans are going to go, oh, come on, what the hell?
plus the
But
fact
they've
that
changed it enough to give them a new experience with a game that they love.
but not to mention the fact that, like I said, we may not have the same like you said, we may not have the same layout as the original. We can probably just break out of the police station and probably go onto the streets for a bit. Which
Well,
we
from
actually,
the demos I've seen played, you are in the police station for a little bit.
well, you're on the police station. Obviously, Ada Wong has a new look. I swear, she looks like April O'Neil with sunglasses. She's got like a
Little bit
trench
more
coat.
evil.
She
A little
looks
bit more evil.
she's got like one of those like cliche brown like trench coats. She's got those red
The
fashion
noir
sunglasses
femme
or whatever.
But now the zombies, they're going to react and be affected completely different than they would in the original game, depending on how you go after them.
I wonder if Resident Evil 7 just basically caused like a reboot of the entire franchise in a way.
Resident Evil 7, if you think about it, is pretty much them testing the waters with a new engine. They're like, okay, what can we pull off with this engine, and what are they going to like with this engine? Because they literally took that game and went, okay, this is what they loved. This is what they hated. Let's mesh that into 2.
Bam! And not to mention the fact...
Because surprisingly, I liked Resi 7 a little bit.
Yeah, it was a very different. It was a very different change.
It was.
I'm glad
because
they're not sticking with the first person, though.
Well, that's that. Like I said, there was a test, and with the fact they were influenced by games like PT, majority of the games that were actually effectively using the first person.
Ironically, for me, it made it less scary.
No, actually, the fact that
don't normally scare me anyway, but I wasn't as creeped out.
Well, the reason why they're doing the first person is because this guy, it's supposed to be us. We're seeing from this perspective, and we're like, holy shit. And also, by looking more at the footage of this game, I noticed some story changes they did. One of them, in the original game, comparing to the new. In the original, Sherry Birkin, the little girl that Claire pairs up with in the game, does not know who the monster is chasing her.
This one she does.
She does, because she screams out, "Father." When the monster's William Burke is charging, she literally screams, "Dad."
Mm-hmm. Oh.
They've gone so far in depth on this game that as you're going through the game, the dirt and scars and everything are going to show up on your character as you play.
I can believe it, because I think with this one, this might, in my opinion, top 4. This might knock out 4 as the best in the series, depending on how they.
Well, it does have Leon, so.
Oh God!
This is rookie. This is not the badass Leon we know from 4 and 6. This is rookie Leon.
This is rookie.
This is like,
yeah,
wait, what the fuck is going on?
Any game with Leon in it is generally pretty popular.
Well, I was about to say,
mind
what
you.
if they end up remaking 4 in this engine?
No.
No, actually, no. I don't know. They actually said if this game does well, they're thinking about redoing Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to do 3. They already have assets set aside for that project.
Oh.
I could see Nemesis.
From what I've read, they've already put in the different patents they need, to update things, and I have a feeling they've probably already gotten a small team started on working with the engine just to see what they could do with it with 3.
My God.
It would
Can you
not
imagine
surprise me.
Can you imagine how freaky and Nemesis is going to be when they do it?
Oh, it's going to be.
Oh my
wonderful.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, people thought he freaked them out before.
Imagine in high definition graphics.
Exactly.
Oh God. Nemesis,
And the sound.
Stars.
Because it would have completely new sound design.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
I
they
can
would find the creepiest ass voice actor that they could to do that.
Well, it wouldn't be that hard because the fucking monster just has one line.
Right.
I know, but you have to find just the right person to make it as creepy as possible.
And then you need to do like multiple intonations so that you have
Yes.
different variants of it.
God,
But,
you guys are fangirling.
But we should move on. We should move on to the next couple of stories.
Okay, that's the end of that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the next thing, unfortunately, by the time this goes up, this sale will already be over. But the Last of Us Outbreak 5th anniversary sale went on this past.
I can't believe it's been that long already since this game came out.
From what I've read, though, they've done this every year since the first anniversary. So I have a feeling this is going to be a continuing thing. And by next year, we'll probably have, Last of Us Part 2 as that sale.
Yeah.
I can understand that because this, like I said, this game has a huge following due to its really enriched story. And
go ahead.
I was just saying this. I can understand the impact of this game. I've said it before. This is one of my top 5 favorite video games ever made. Dude,
Naughty Dog knows what they're doing.
They do know. It's got characters you can relate to. It's got a story that is, if you think about it, is almost believable that can actually happen. And this situations that make you just so tense and just make you bawl your eyes out, depending on how that's what gets you in the game is that way.
And the best part, though, is that Naughty Dog hasn't like seen the success of a couple of their other franchises and just like this one and just started cranking out games.
They took their time.
They're bringing people back to those games with
Really?
sales
Yes.
like this.
Alrighty.
It's a good point.
And I really want to actually think about probably doing this game again because I just love it. I just can't praise it enough.
It reminds me a lot of how the Dark Souls community has their Return to Lordran, Return to Drangleic,
Return to Lothric.
and soon to be Return to Lothric sessions.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be a return to first game.
Lordran.
If there is going to be a return to Lordran, and if it will be on the original or if it will be on the remaster, because they still can't figure out which way they're buttering their toast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Anyway,
next story, of course, we hinted at this earlier.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Duel Links officially enters the 5E's era.
5D's era. That is the Synchro Monsters.
Card games on motorcycles.
Hey, that was actually a good season. Bite me.
I was about to say, isn't that one of your favorite ones?
It is actually a good season thematically because 4Kids didn't get their hands on it.
Well, technically, they did get their hands on it.
Yes, but they didn't butcher it as badly as they did.
Oh, yes, sadly, yes, they did. They completely removed the last arc. They completely cut out the female character's story plot line.
Yeah, but that one was also in Japan, so that wasn't entirely. And they did the same thing with GX.
Yeah, they removed.
I'm sorry, that was the last season I watched.
GX was damn good too.
Which is a shame because
GX
that
is
was where I
good.
dropped out of it.
5D's really good. You really should go back and watch the full series.
I mean, I probably will.
well,
But,
we're going to have to for our
For the
for
side
our
project.
Archetalk.
that's a long way down the line.
Yeah.
We have all the dual monsters to get through first.
Oh fuck me sideways. Yeah, we only got through season 1.
Yes. But, so you now have Synchro Monsters, you now have Tuner Monsters, they've only, as far as cards they've released the Gene X Machine archetype, they've released the X Sabers Warrior archetype, and then, of course, everyone who has a title role is a playable character. Akiza, Yusei, Jack, Crow, and the twins.
Yeah.
So far.
Luna and Luca.
So far, we don't have any words on villains, and there's no word if Bruno is going to show up at all.
Oh, Bruno.
Yeah, but or Callan even. But
Yeah.
either way, at least the main signers are all there,
Yeah.
and we'll see how that goes from there.
Mhm.
Next story, we have official confirmation of a re-release. I want to say remastering of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy.
Yep.
Yes!
Oh boy!
It's being remastered. They're replacing the sprites with actual.
With the Dual Destinies animation style graphics.
But it's artwork instead of.
Yeah, but it's the Dual Destinies version of art.
It's that
pixelated.
art style.
Yeah.
It's not pixelated. It's coming
So
out for everything.
PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One.
And no doubt there's also going to be a mobile report because, of course,
I'm going to get the PS4 version so we can do a Let's Play of it.
that would be a fantastic one. And unlike Danganronpa, it should not
like-
be as stressful.
Yeah.
I'm getting all giddy. I need to play these again. These games are so good.
They are quite fun.
Well, see, I'd get it on PS4 only because I've got the collection on my 3DS,
right.
so it might be a little redundant to get it on my Switch.
It would be a little bit redundant.
But for the people who don't have it, like on the 3DS, and they want it mobile, Switch, there you go.
I can only imagine what shenanigans the deviants of Steam will get into once the files
Oh,
are
I'm
released.
sure.
Oh, God. Have you ever seen, on YouTube, those Phoenix Wright trial story things?
Yes.
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 I saw one where Phoenix Wright was lawyer to Laharl from Disgaea. It
Oh.
was stupid.
People have fun with the series.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the
Oh, and my favorite thing were the Phoenix Wrong sketches.
yeah, exactly. The
Yes!
Phoenix Wrong
Oh my
sketches are
God.
really where it all took off, and that's sort of where its publicity came from back in the day. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that the series does get to continue because are not as frequent as they used to be. in terms of their releases.
Well, yeah, we had those.
They've
then we
come
had
back
Apollo.
and they've said the reason they aren't doing that is because if they crank them out too much, the interest started to dwindle when they were cranking them out too fast.
Right.
Yeah, because immediately after they finished
'Cause
Dual
they-
Destinies, they brought out Spirit of Justice, and I think a lot of people were burned out really quickly.
Actually, it was a little bit between them.
Really, it felt a lot sooner.
No, it was the original trilogy because those they did yearly, and that's sort of why they said, okay, no, we need to back off, and they thought about switching it to Apollo,
Yeah.
which is why they had the fourth game, and then there was a long break before, okay, no, we need to work this back with the original character, and so that's what eventually led to Dual Destiny.
Which is why they kind of backtracked on the Juris system in Apollo.
Well, you write yourself into a corner. You have to unwrite yourself.
Yeah.
However, Miles' investigation.
One thing still pisses me off about Apollo's storyline.
What's that?
Him and Trucy never find out that they're related.
They still don't.
No!
Never.
That might actually be like a good plot for like the next game.
No.
They could, though.
It's going to come
That
up in
would be a cool thing for them to explore.
It's going to be a Luke and Leia moment, and it's going to be really awkward for everyone involved.
Oh God,
No,
do
because
not.
right now everybody's shipping him and Athena.
Well, Apollo and
So-
Athena.
Well, now, because Athena was introduced, so they could. Okay, thankfully, we're not going to get into any questionable pairings.
Yeah.
Are
No.
you looking up Bowsette again, Legend?
What do you mean? Am I looking up Bowsette again?
Yeah.
You have a folder.
Yeah.
I do
Anyway,
not have any.
anyway, why don't we talk about something a little bit newer, which is
The Fantastic Beasts movie had a trailer which actually
This looks
revealed,
good.
it revealed that Nagini the snake was actually a woman.
Yes.
And she turned into a snake, and it became permanent.
It is actually a legitimate myth.
Yes. It's a legitimate
Indonesian myth.
Indonesian myth that Rowling is incorporating into her mythos as a maledictus, which is a type of animagus effectively in reverse,
Okay.
to where they can transform into an animal, or actually I take that back. It's an animal that can
After a
transform
while,
into a
they
human
lose the ability to turn back into a human,
and lose the ability to
which
transform into a human.
explains
Nagini's-
in the later movies why Nagini is just a snake.
Yes.
Yeah.
It also is allegedly, according to Rowling's Twitter tweets, a female-only disease that is
Yes.
passed down from mother to daughter.
Huh.
So there will never be
Which is actually part of the myth,
myth,
which is good.
which is good,
Mhm.
though many people still think that you're bordering the line of racism there.
They can get over it.
And she was smart enough to go, yeah, there's plenty of different ethnic groups in that one Indonesian area.
Sure,
Yeah.
which is fine, but
And after she pointed that out, she said, have a lovely day.
right,
I'll harp on Rowling for a lot of things, but this I'm not going to harp on her for.
sure,
No,
It-
she
like-
incorporated a legitimate myth that she researched.
right.
Right.
The concern is always, however, becoming the next George Lucas, which no one likes.
Yeah.
So
But you know what? Most people right now are picking at her because they want something to complain about.
sure,
Yeah.
Of course.
And this is the current thing to complain about.
sure,
Give it about 2 weeks, and they'll have moved on from this to complain about something else.
Sure.
That's the
Yes.
internet for you.
sure.
Everybody's putting up a big beef about her actually researching this and incorporating it. Everybody's like, oh, she's retconning. No, she's literally incorporating it into the character.
Well,
She's
well, for
giving
one thing, we never
Nagini
even
an
knew
actual
Jack-
character.
Yeah. Okay.
Continue, Rado.
Okay, what I was trying to say is we literally knew jack shit about Nagini in the books, other than it was a pet for Voldemort.
Well, that was sort of
Yeah.
the thing. Is that this is the
This isn't a retcon, this is expounding on it.
right?
Yeah,
it-
they're
Exactly.
giving it an actual character
right,
and explaining the name.
right. But it seems from the perspective of the fans like this is like this is like how they explained why, like in I think it's episode 2 of the Star Wars franchise, and Akari, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or I think it's in 2 or 3 that Obi-Wan Kenobi has an encounter with Wookiees very early on in the movie, and it later turns out that Wookiee is Chewbacca. Thus
That
explaining
was not Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, who was it?
That was Yoda.
Okay, Yoda having interactions with Chewbacca, with a young Chewbacca, which later sets up his occurrence and later reason that he shows up to help Han Solo and eventually Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
So it's it's one of those things where it looks like you're covering your own ass as a sort of like I'm making sure I don't have any plot holes, but at the same time it looks tastily done.
Yeah.
The movie itself is going to be the true decider of whether or not this is an expansion or if it's covering the behind.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
But
it does
from
seem
her
kind of
research, though,
Huh?
I
Sorry?
like the fact that she's giving it an actual character,
Oh, yes. And
not just a reptile that was a Horcrux.
And actually, that kind of makes more sense because out of all the Horcruxes, barring Harry,
Yeah.
every one of them was an inanimate object.
Yeah.
And so having an animal as it kind of like made poetic sense that Harry was a Horcrux,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
kind of like Nagini, even compared to everyone else, still kind of stood out. But seeing Nagini as a human who cursed into animal form, suddenly, okay, now we have a basis for Horcruxes being transferable to humans.
Yeah.
It creates that basis even before Harry, and in a sense justifies Harry being a Horcrux now with this knowledge.
Actually, I was kind of following you for a moment, but mainly I was thinking, like, the reason why Voldemort turned the items that he did into Horcruxes was because he had a flair for the dramatic.
Sure.
And pride.
Sure. And now it's even better because now not only is it a snake that he turned into a Horcrux, it is a snake who used to be a beautiful woman. What better way to go? What better way to put a porter?
And if you look a tad deeper,
at what?
she's half of something just like he is.
That's true.
Flair for the dramatic. Yep, this kind of fits Voldemort to a T.
And he's a descendant of Slytherin, hence the snake being the most precious of the Horcruxes. This is just adding a whole cool another layer to it, and if they execute
And
it
so there
right,
you go.
that's
Now
going to
you
be
now you have
great.
justification for it.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense why he would turn Nagini into a Horcrux now if that's his.
Yeah, with that insight.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
There you go.
Another new Pokemon movie announced, The Power of Us. And the Pokemon that's being shown off in this one is Zeraora.
I thought it was Lugia.
It's about time, but Lugia is also there, but Zeraora is the new one.
Yep.
That everyone is excited about because it's about time.
No shit.
And I am also happy to report that this Pikachu does not talk except in Pika Pika.
Good.
We don't have to worry about Ryan Reynolds.
Well, and right
No, we're
now,
talking about that one movie where Ash hallucinated that Pikachu was talking to him.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
referring to the Detective Pikachu game.
No.
No, that one is. I'm okay with that one.
No, we need Danny. I still say we need Danny DeVito for that.
And he's going,
but
what the
it's
fuck's a Pokemon?
coming out near the Thanksgiving break, so
Mhm.
we got time to find out more.
I believe in terms of the story that has been released, we do know that he has a wisecracking girl and a constant liar dude as part of his.
There is also a bitter old woman described as one of his friends in this movie.
Yes!
Okay.
So
We need more bitter old ladies as partners.
They haven't said that it's in the
In
Johto
Pokemon!
region.
Friendship! Don't give me that look,
All
Leo.
over the poster
Apparently Legend has a
is
type.
Johto Pokemon.
Oh, shut up. Sorry, Woozy.
to reply to you in a word, Legend phrasing.
Yes, phrasing, which was why I added it afterwards.
Okay.
You jackasses.
All right, why don't we just jump on the Pokemon train for a little bit? And in Pokemon Go, it was discovered. Well, there was a glitch, or
Was it a glitch?
it was a leak.
Leak, air quotes.
Essentially, it's
All according to Kate.
a mythical Pokemon that they quote unquote leaked into the game, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's a Gen 8 Pokemon."
Mythical
No,
My Licky
it is
Licky.
not. If
It's a
you
mythical
look at
Gen
the
7.
numbering, yes, it's for Gen 7.
Yeah, because technically Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is still technically Gen 7.
I thought it was
Yes.
Gen 1.
No,
People actually looked into the code for this and found the numbering for it.
What is it?
It's in the 800s, which means it's
It's
part of Gen 7.
891.
Yeah.
yeah, so it's literally the last...
Wait. 891?
Yes,
Pokedex-
Gen 7s are
The Pokemon,
800s
the current
stuff.
Pokedex as of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
In the coding
Right. What I
for things.
again.
that
No, it was
number.
coded as Kecleon in the game, in the Pokemon Go app. Oddly enough, even though when you...
That was actually... Essentially what they did was this thing showed up, and in some areas you would see Kecleon, and it would turn into a
Ooh,
Ditto
thank
or a
you.
Chikorita, because this coincided right next to Community Day. And so was Meltran.
It's called Meltan.
You would catch this thing and it would either turn into Ditto or Chikorita.
Okay. What number was that again, Muzi?
Oh, I'd have to find it.
817?
What, for Meltan?
Yes.
891.
891. Okay. So, off of one of my unofficial apps for it, the last Pokemon entry is probably about
Zeraora, right?
no, I have no well Zeraora would go ahead and be added isn't in this one, but Zeraora would probably put it at 807.
807. So...
Meaning because I don't think this is updated completely for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Meaning, there is a chance that there is Gen 8 stuff. It just hasn't been officially released.
Yeah.
And also,
They've already debunked that so far that Milton's not Gen 8.
right. It could also just be like we're covering our asses and no, we're going to spring the surprise later on.
Yeah.
It could always be that.
Yeah.
Regardless, they showed a video later with Professor Willow talking with Professor Oak, talking about this, covering their asses, trying to say, hey, we found this weird Pokemon that's turning into Ditto, or like that's Ditto is being,
Is copying.
is copying it, and they were like, and Oak's like, I don't think I've seen this around. And like, wait, I think I have. It's in this old ancient file that I'm pulling out of my ass.
Professor Oak.
Which, considering it was an ancient tablet, would hurt.
Professor, just give us your bookshelf and let us have our games. We have so many regions that you simply seem to be pulling out of your ass.
You senile old fuckwit.
We still need to go back to the Coliseum games.
Yeah.
Oh, joy!
But nostalgic
They
is...
need to re-release those.
Yes, they do. With updated graphics and music.
Updated
And
graphics
roster.
and better
Yes.
battle speed.
In any event, Meltran is being announced for Pokemon Go and potentially Let's Go Eevee Pikachu.
I believe if you catch it in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there's an event in... if you catch it in Go, there's an event in Pikachu and Eevee.
Which would make sense.
There's been nothing confirmed for it right now. If you catch it in the wild at all,
It just turns
it
into
turns
a Ditto.
into a Ditto.
Well, we
Yeah.
will see what happens in the near future.
Lastly,
we have, for everyone who is an anime fan, Seven Deadly Sins Season 2 is coming to Netflix in October.
woo!
No, I haven't watched the first season yet.
Holy
I
fuck,
finally
this
started
series
watching
is
it,
a
and I think
mindfuck.
I'm like 6
Oh,
episodes
trust
in.
me, the anime is, or the manga is by far ahead, and boy, does it look like it's going to be a one heck of a season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy, I've read up to the end of the manga so far, and
Jeebus.
it goes at such a rate. It is a fast read for a manga.
I mean, what are they at, 300 chapters?
Almost.
Almost 300, so yeah, you could belt it out in a night.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, you'll belt it out like that because every page is going like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're not going at, like, it's not like trying to read from the start of the series to the current era of Case Closed.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh my God.
which is, I think, approaching 1,300 chapters.
Kill me.
No.
Ugh.
You deserve to see more.
No, then they'd have to hide the body.
Yes.
Uh,
And then Conan would have to go on a mystery just trying to find who killed you.
Other stuff that's happening in October that's going to be really, really fun. They are releasing Castlevania Season 2.
Pretty soon.
Nice.
There's supposed to be a collection of, I think, Rondo of Blood and oh god,
Symphony of
It's
the Night.
Rondo of Blood,
Yes.
Symphony of the Night.
Yes.
October is going to be a very big month for all us anime fans and animation fans.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Even if the Bowsette craze does eventually die.
It won't.
I've heard
Give it
that.
time.
I've heard
it will have its own subculture now that even when it fades, it'll have its own subculture.
It will exist. Legend. It's going to take off like Monster Musume took off.
Yeah, that surprised the original artist too. But I was about to say that I have heard this meme described as an SCP that broke out and invaded the internet, and now it will never leave.
SCP-1337. Subject class Euclid.
Is it a Euclid or a Keter class?
Depends on whether you determine it as dangerous or extinction level disaster. You would probably say Keter. I would probably say Euclid.
George.
And what else is coming up on the channel?
Okay, so hopefully on Tuesday, Dark Souls will be uploaded.
Hopefully.
We also have the first episodes of Archetalk, which is Zero in Mind spin-off series regarding the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise.
It's mainly just a podcast of us talking about like the first season for the most part.
Hopefully we'll be doing more recordings where we talk about cards, our past with the game, and
Yeah.
hopefully you have some more fun discussions about specific characters and some of their dumbest moments in the show.
That's either going to come out at the end of this week, or I might need to take a little bit of time and work on them. So maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
So by the middle of October.
By the middle or end of October, I should at least have the first episode up, and that'll be uploaded on like a Friday schedule, possibly
Yeah, that might be alternating Fridays.
alternating Fridays, just because we want to.
Opposite of the podcast.
Yeah,
So that's all we have for tonight, folks.
yeah, because we're recording this late.
Yes. So let's have our Alaskan friends say goodnight.
Good night.
Well, that's Muzi and that's Akari,
This is Leo Force.
This is Legend Hunter.
and this is Rado of the Stardust Hunters, and this is the Shooting Starcast signing out for now.
Yes.
Blasting off again!
No.
Yes.